Hello and welcome back. This is Black and White, Episode 2, Part 3. We're talking Saga. In Part 1, we talked about why Saga is important. Part 2, we shared our top 5 moments from the first 54 issues, because if you didn't know or have been living under a rock, Saga's been on hiatus for 3 years. That ended last month, and that's what we're going to talk about in the last part of the Saga episode. We're going to review issue 55, sort of mini review style. We're going to review issue 55 that just came out. There will be spoilers. By the time this episode is released, it'll have probably been 2 months since issue 55 came out. So if you were going to read it, you probably read it by now anyway. If you're not going to read it, hopefully we can convince you to pick up this comic and start reading it. It's amazing. So we'll review 55. Then we're going to talk about what we want to see in these last 54 issues. In the letters column of 55, Brian K. Vaughan said this is going to go 108 issues. So we're legitimately halfway done with the comic, and we didn't even know it when it went on hiatus. So now we're ready. We're back. We're excited. We're talking about Saga. Let's talk about issue 55.
So, little correction in your opening salvo.
Oh no.
A 3-year hiatus. For all of us people that just jumped on the bandwagon, it's only been like a month. Like, I only had to wait like a month since I read the trades. It really wasn't that serious. I don't know why you people were freaking out about this series being gone for so long. Suck it up. Get over it. Figure it out.
That's one of the most ridiculous things you've ever said to me.
We haven't had much controversy yet, so we need some hot takes. I'll give you a hot take. There we go.
I've been losing sleep over whether or not this comic would ever even come back.
Yeah, dude. I listened to a lot of podcasts and people were just like, is this coming back? Like, we haven't heard anything. And I thought it was honestly brilliant at the New York Comic-Con. There really wasn't, I'm just trying to think before, there really wasn't a lot of like lead time in the world of solicitations that we live in. They just had like a panel and they're like, yeah, we're back. And I thought that was like awesome.
Yeah,
those are the best. Those are the best things. Like,
yeah, and it wasn't like we're back and the first issue will be out in 6 months. It was like no, in January.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, this will be in preview solicitations and we're back like now and we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to also give them a huge pat on the back for BKV and Fiona. Obviously they had a lot of time off, so whatever, but I got to applaud Image also. In a world of $5 Batman comics, like literally I'm getting Detective Comics. It comes out every month, every week for the next 3 months that are $5. I got to give them.
Are you kidding me?
Well, 30% discount too. But
still, that's $60 worth of Detective Comics in 3 months.
This is it, man. I'm just.
You could just go buy Elden Ring on Friday for that much.
I can't. I can't just drop. I got to finish the story arc. So I'm finishing the arc and then I'm out. But I got to give Image some props for putting this book out at $2.99, and this Joker was like 45 pages. That would be a $15 DC comic book right now. Okay, so I got to give them some props.
Is 56 $2.99? Because I think it's back to I think it's regular price after that, isn't it?
They're all $2.99.
Really? I didn't know that. I just thought I thought the reintroductory issue was going to be, because they do that a lot. Image does that with like volume 1 for trades. Those are always really, really low price to get people on board. I thought that was the same strategy for this. That's great that it's not, though.
I know 56 is at least $2.99. Okay. I don't know if it's going to go up after that, but yeah, I don't
pay attention. I put it on the pull list and I know it's there and it costs what it costs, but I want it.
Todd McFarlane's got me on the hook, bro. All his books are $2.99. I'm on Spawn like I am spawning like I have never spawned before.
The moment that, I know this is way off topic, the moment that he announced like multiple monthly comics with different characters at $2.99, that's literally when I stopped reading Spawn, because there's no way I'm buying 4 or 5 books a month just to read Spawn.
I'm spawning and spawning and spawning. Not in that way, but reading Spawn. We're off track. Saga.
Okay, it happens. Let's talk Saga number 55.
Tangents. I'm gonna let you break it down, man. I'm sure you got like a more well thought out.
I don't. I actually really don't.
Take. Okay.
I really don't. Joke's on you.
So
This is by the seat of my pants.
All right. Well,
I've got like two thoughts written down just to spark my brain to talk. That's it.
All right, so this I think I wrapped up. I was reading them all in trade, digital trade or whatever. I think I wrapped it up like a month before this 55 came out. And at the end of it, are we doing like full spoilers or are we trying to be
I'm gonna if you don't. So say what you want
okay?
to say. It's one of the
Issue
things I have
50,
written down. I know what you're talking
okay.
about. I have one of those things written down.
Like 54 was like one of the biggest cliffhangers I think I've ever read in a comic book. Like, and I couldn't even
Yeah.
imagine.
Think about living with that for 3 years.
Yeah, like I can't even imagine because like when you got me on Invincible and I started reading that in issues, I feel like every month there would be like a cliffhanger, and I was just like, I read a lot of comics, and this is how I can tell the quality of a good comic. If I can, when I'm reading 60 plus comics a month, and I can remember what happens from issue to issue in your story from a general sense without having a Marvel recap page, that's
Mm-hmm.
how I know it's a quality comic book.
Yeah.
And
I mean, to be fair, Kirkman is like the master of the cliffhanger. Like no
yes,
one does it better.
BK Vaughn,
No
BKV did a
disrespect to
pretty
BKV, but
yeah.
Kirkman's got
He
him in that department. But
he did
BKV
a
is top tier.
well. This 54 cliffhanger, there ain't much. Kirkman had him, but like we're tiptoeing around it. The death of Marco at the end of 54, man. I cannot. I was like, yo, Marco's such a great character, XYZ. And then I was literally in the doctor's office reading this on the iPad as I was waiting, and I was texting Dave. And Dave just, I love you, man. He was just being such a good guy and just playing me. And when he died at the end of 54, like I was like, I sent him a voice message. I was like, there's no way I would be out of my effing mind. Like if I waited, I got it. I got why people were freaking out over 3 years. Like I would be losing my mind if I had to wait 3 years for that. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad to
was
have it
rough.
back. Very rough. I'm glad to have the series back. It was so good. I think I might buy another issue tomorrow just to have one because it's $2. Why not?
Just
There's
stockpiling sagas.
yeah, there's a couple. There's like 20 of them sitting on the top rack. They're not
Frame one,
moving.
put on the wall. Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm seriously gonna buy another one. But
You got. I see space. I see space behind you. You
right,
could hang a couple issues of saga up there. There's room.
right. Yeah, I got to get some stuff on the walls. But yeah, just the interactions, having those characters back. I still don't remember exactly everything that's kind of going on. Obviously, I know like kind of the high beats of where we're at, but I don't think he'll ever do it. But there's so many gaps of time in between some of these trades that they could BKV could fill in those spaces. I don't think he's going to, but there was definitely a gap of time. I didn't catch how long it was. I don't know if it said 6 months, a year, or whatever. Or
I
if
felt like it was a
or
couple
if
of
he,
years because
yeah,
Hazel was a little bit older.
yeah. It's just it starts with Hazel just causing mischief, running around like she stole something from a vendor or whatever, and I was just like,
But it got real like
it
super
did,
quick.
it did, and I was just like, this is good to have this back. Um,
Yeah, I mean it reminded you right away that you're reading Saga because it went from like childhood mischief to suicide bomber in the blink of an eye.
yes, yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't. Do you want to speak on you went through the hiatus? I didn't really go through the
I
hiatus that
did. I
much.
did.
Yeah.
The hiatus. So I mentioned this in previous um, parts of this episode that I did a reread of Saga a few months ago because I needed to get like well, I say it was a few months ago. It was literally like November, December is when I did it. It wasn't that long ago. Um, I did it partially because I needed a refresher on some stuff because it had been 3 years. Um, I had not forgotten had not forgotten about Marco when I was doing the reread. However, there was a lot of stuff I did forget about, and it was really really nice to be able to do that right before 55 came out because it felt like I had a nice little break in between finishing it, like you, like about a month or so, and then like I was back, and I was really 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 hoping for like a haha, just kidding about Marco, like
Yeah.
like there's be some sort of like reef death magic that brings him back and he's just there and we've kind of turned back the clock on his demise, but I should have known better because that's not in the style of the comic. Once you die in Saga, I think you stay dead, at least for the most part. I don't know, remains
That's
to
one
be
of my
seen.
That's one of my wish list items is like Marco has to come back at some point, whether
Yeah.
in spectral form or something. Like
Yeah,
he's
like
got to
he's
come back.
like he shows up like Isabel.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jedi. I need Jedi Marco at
yeah.
some point. I need something
Wouldn't
like
that be interesting? I know I'm kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but like Soulbound Ghost Marco to Hazel, that'd be interesting. Anyway,
oh,
back to 55. It was a really fast-paced issue,
guess it was.
which I appreciated. That's one of the things that I've always loved about Saga. I compare it to Invincible a lot in the kind of the way that it reads. It reads fast. It's a fast reading comic, even if there's not a lot of fast stuff happening. It could be a slow story issue, but it still reads fast because it's just so masterfully done. And this comic was no exception. It was the absolute perfect return, in my opinion. I almost had a heart attack when Bombazine pretended to be Alana's husband. Like I was already kind of upset that that I didn't get the return of Marco, and now Alana's moved on with some dude with like he's got like koala ears, like and a metal arm. I just didn't want to believe it. I'm glad it wasn't true. I'm interested to see the dynamic between Bombazine and Hazel and kind of to get those gaps filled in on kind of what happened. But overall, phenomenal issue. I thought it was hilarious at the end when Alana was so proud to say that they were drug smugglers.
Yeah, like we're drug dealers. Like,
It's such
well,
a
yeah,
great like just the insanity of Saga lives on like it never left. It was just a great like I was so happy reading that comic. I was so happy.
well, I liked it because she's like, we're like smugglers or something, and then Hazel says we were drug dealers. Like that was
Yeah,
that like
yeah, you're
oh
right.
yeah yeah
I misquoted
yeah
it. Thank you.
yeah. It was just like oh we're like these smugglers, and she's like no we're drug dealers. That's how I took it. And like I started laughing like we were actually drug dealers.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, very good issue. I got like I said I applaud Image for the quality and giving us a quality comic, and that's one thing you touched on like is 3 years a long time? Yeah, that's a long time. But for quality, uh,
it's
I
worth it.
really
Yeah,
it's worth it, man. It is,
Yeah,
and I mean that's why I find myself in comics like I'm drifting more to independent stuff because the quality is there. That's where the
yeah.
quality is at. In my opinion, it's not. I will read capes all day, but I'll read them digitally. I'll pay on the streaming service and put my $10 there instead of giving these jokers $70 a month. Like the quality of the art is there in the independent books, and Saga is it's masterful, man. There
Yeah.
really isn't much, and I'm glad that I am on the ongoing monthly train. I dread all the paper that is in my basement from me just going nuts. But Saga is one comic every month. It can go another 100 issues, and I'll figure out a way to keep that paper in my house. Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
bad
quality
news.
that
It's
we
only
want.
going 54 more. So,
I know. Um, yeah,
so I guess we don't have a rating scale established. We've never rated anything before on the podcast because this is literally the second episode.
yeah.
So I don't know if we'll ever have an official black and white rating scale. However, man, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 4 stars, whatever the best thing is on your personal rating scale. That's where this issue is for me.
Not giving it that. I'm not gonna give it that.
All
I'll
right.
give it a
Wow. Okay.
four.
Well.
I'll give it a
Okay.
four. I think
Out of what?
5, 10.
Okay.
No,
A
four out
four
of
out of 10. This podcast is over.
5. 4 out of 5. No. Well, so we all need to heal. Everyone needs to heal. I give it a 4 out of 5. It was a very good issue. I think I didn't if I had more time in between, I think 5 out of 5, greatest thing ever. But like I just read
Yeah.
the other one, like so I didn't have to endure that suffering.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like
I guess mine, you have a recency bias
you've
that I don't
been
have. But I
exactly,
also did just reread it and I'm still just as excited.
bro, but you've been feeling that pain for 3 years. So
I
even though you
guess.
just
I
read
guess.
it,
I don't know.
bro, you've seen the Super Bowl, you've seen what it takes to get there. I haven't. So like that's not like it's
I
like
guess.
you've been feeling that burn for 3 years, whether you reread it or not. You knew the ultimate destination of where you
All
were
right.
getting
All right.
to.
All right. I'll accept that.
You feel me?
I'll
You
accept.
dig?
I
Is
dig.
this the
I
Is
did.
this the first time that I've talked David? I think I just talked David into something, guys. That's not going to happen much, but I
You're
just got
right.
him
You're
this
right
time.
about that. But yeah, you did.
I know.
You know what?
Yeah,
As I get older, I don't take as firm a stance as I used to on a lot of things. There's not a reason sometimes to do it. And in
yeah,
this case, man, I'm just going to defer to you. I think you're right. You're probably right.
yeah. I
I still
definitely,
think a 4 out of 5 is egregiously low and probably a terrible rating, but whatever.
I don't believe in half stars. I'm trying not to do half stars because I would give it like a 4. I
Anything
would give
less
it
than
a
perfect is wrong, in my
no.
opinion. So,
It's not. It's not a perfect comic book in my opinion. But I honestly too like I don't really normally read. That's not entirely true, but I normally don't read a lot of letters pages. But like,
you got to read this one.
I really appreciated that letter, probably more than the issue. Like, I really appreciated that letters page, like him just being transparent and being like,
Mm-hmm.
this quality takes time, and like, we know we might have lost some readers, and we probably picked some up. Like, just very, very transparent, and I appreciated that.
I mentioned it in the first part of this episode. One of the best things why Saga is so important is the way that he interacts with the fans. And the letters column
Yeah.
in Saga is so fantastic. Sounds like a ridiculous thing to say in
No, it's
2022.
good.
That one of the key selling points of a comic book is its letters column. But I'm telling you, if you're reading Saga and you're skipping over the letters column, you're missing out because it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay, so that's 55. Let's move on to the second half of this episode part, and talk about what we want to see in these last 54 issues. Because even though it's fantastic that Saga is back, it's also kind of sad because in that same letters column, Brian K. Vaughan, he gave us our drop dead date, sort
Yep.
of. We know it's only going 108 issues. We've got 54 more issues. What do you want to see in these last 54? I guess now 53 because we just talked about the first one of them.
I wrote down what I want to see as a wild ride with a lot of, in this order, sex, violence, and I need Lion Cat. I need more Lion Cat.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
we got a
Lion
little bit
Cat.
in 55. We got a little
I
bit.
think
We kind of glossed that over in 55, by the way. The Lion Cat appearance. There was a fantastic Lion Cat moment in 55
yeah, oh yeah, there was. Yeah.
where Gwendolyn, the Will, Lion Cat.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to spoil that.
No, we don't need to go into it, but some
But
of
if you know,
Lion
you know.
Cat's yeah, some of Lion Cat's facial mannerisms are pretty great in that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do want to see Marco again. I think that's ultimately
Me too. I have that written down too. I want to see Marco again in some capacity. I understand. We saw his literal skull at one point in
Yeah.
this issue. However, I've not given up hope. Maybe it's somebody else's skull. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just having the vibe.
I hope it's
too.
somebody else's skull.
I'm you never know. I'm also I'm getting a vibe that this series is going to kind of like end with like, this is obviously like Hazel having a memoir of her parents, and like I don't know if it's going to be like her on her deathbed with her family or something like that, but like that's kind of like the vibe that I think we're ultimately going to get to.
Interesting.
Like
that's an interesting take.
Another like gut wrenching thing.
Yeah,
like
I hadn't
it's
considered
natural.
that.
It's natural in its life, but
Yeah.
it's like either that, or I also kind of like was thinking maybe it's like her in like a prison camp or something because of these warring factions going back and forth. But I think more so it's going to be like, this is a memoir of my parents and true love and all that. And like that. And then the only other thing I'm going to say is like, yeah, it sucks that we know when this is ending. It's a terminal series. It's not going to be ongoing. But for me, I think that's for the best. Like, I think it's for the best, man. It's going to suck when it's over, but we will have this. If they keep up this quality and pace, we are going to have this magnum opus of work. Because I could literally go this to Invincible to Walking Dead, and there'll be another thing. Something else will come.
Yeah.
And like, these are the quality comics, and I could just go bounce and read these.
I'll tell you what I think one of the other things could possibly be. I've been trying to get you on this. It's Undiscovered Country from Scott Snyder.
If it's that high of a recommendation, I'll start
pulling it.
It's
incredible. You just have to read it. It's so batshit insane. You have to read it in arcs. Single issues was tough. I had to read it in arcs.
Well,
Third arc just ended.
I was gonna say I could definitely pull it digitally, but with Comixology, I don't know if I can even handle that anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of Comixology, when I was flipping through my digital compendium of Saga,
yeah,
to try and like pin down when some of my top moments had for the last part of this episode, I was I was doing it on the Kindle reader, like the desktop
PC?
reader,
Oh
like
no,
the cloud reader.
no.
Literally, I was going through pages, and out of nowhere, I just got signed out of Amazon and kicked back
Dude,
to the beginning.
It's just
It's a disgrace.
Can we not go?
Absolute disgrace. Okay, so
please not go there.
we're going off track again. I'm gonna rein us back in, and then we'll put a bow on this thing.
Yep.
Because there's a couple things that I want to see that you didn't mention, that I have to get in these last 54 issues. One, I need more Petrichor, and I mean I need more Petrichor. She's such a great character. I gushed about Petrichor in the second part of this episode. I'll do it again right now. She's my favorite character. I need more Petrichor, and I need more Prince Robot, preferably together. Well, I guess I can't get that.
Exactly what
I guess I can't get that.
Did we read the same thing?
I forgot. Damn it, I forgot.
Oh.
I'm not even going to explain what I forgot. If you know what I forgot, have fun laughing at my expense. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go read Saga. Just don't fall in love with Prince Robot.
That's incredible.
I want a nice big time jump at some point that gives us Hazel around Marco and Alana's age when they first met.
Yep.
And I don't want it to happen like at the very end for like 12 pages. Like, I want this to happen somewhere where I get a lot of adult Hazel.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get it, but I think it would be nice.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice. I agree with all the other things that you said you wanted. I also want more sex and violence. That's one of the reasons why Saga is so great, because of the mixture of the two and the way that they're treated, as we've talked about kind of ad nauseum already in this episode. But really, I don't have a huge list of wants. And part of the reason I don't is because I trust the creators implicitly.
Yeah.
I'm just along for the ride. They hooked me like, I don't know, freaking 8 years ago or 7 years ago, whenever the comic started in 2013 or something. They had me then. I've been along for the ride ever since. I just do whatever you want to do. I mean, I know some of it's going to make me angry and some of it's going to make me sad. Some's going to make me laugh. I love every minute of it. I'm excited to get more Saga.
I'm happy this series brings you so much joy. Honestly, Saga is a zero solicitation book for me. You can put it in a category. If we had a previews catalog where, you know, they show you the previews of comics and give you a description, they just got to put Saga.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah,
$2.99. Got it. Don't need any description.
I don't need to know anything about it. In fact, I'd prefer not to know anything about it. Just send it to me. I'll buy it for as long as you'll make it.
That's where you want to be. I was a huge MCU guy. I was all about those movies. If I'm being honest, it's really starting to kind of tire and bore me. But Spider-Man Far From Home.
I think we'll touch on this at some point in the future too.
Spider-Man Far From Home was a zero solicitation trailer movie for me. Coming out, I'm there. Mm-hmm. First movie I'm worth getting COVID over. Like that's what I saw one trailer. I was like, we're good here. That's the power and quality of like a quality product. Hopefully Undiscovered Country becomes that for me, where
we're about to get interrupted.
Sign me up.
FYI. I have a small visitor.
That's okay.
You might hear complaining quietly. Okay. We're almost done. We're about to wrap it up. I'm talking to my dog. It's not a kid. She didn't come all the way in frame on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're just listening, I sound insane. I have a dog. She's impatient. She wants attention, so she's coming.
Maybe it's a lion cat. Who knows? But
it's not I wish it was a lion cat. I love my dog, but if she was lion cat, I'd be just as happy. I'm slightly happier. Don't tell her I said that.
But guys, seriously, go read Saga. Like, honestly, it's better than. Are these different awards that this book has gotten there's a reason for it. It's gotten, and I get weird about like critical acclaim from like reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes. I tend to go more with like an audience score, like our peers. But when something has universal acclaim like this, it's probably pretty good and you should check it out. So like seriously, get Saga, get it digitally, suffer through Comixology, get the trades, they're normally cheap, however you got to do it, read it. When I was reading 55 though, then what I was saying was like, this would be you'd be doing a huge disservice to yourself, but it almost could have been a jumping on point. Like really, it could have. You'd be doing a disservice. But when I was reading, I was like, you kind of could jump in right here. You wouldn't get obviously everything that's gone on, but that was just
Matt's right. You could jump on at 55. If you do, please do not tell me that you have. I will be very, very sad. But you could do it.
That's my hot take. Saga 55, perfect jumping on point. And I'm out.
Okay. On that note, thank you all for watching or for listening. This was episode 2, part 3 of Black and White Pod. We talked Saga a lot. I don't know what is next. I don't know what's on deck for episode 3. We'll figure it out. Then we'll record it. Then we'll release it. Hopefully you'll listen to it or watch it and like it. And if not, hey, that's okay too. We appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, we're doing this for us. We're doing this for us. Okay. Well, thank you all again. We're out. Peace.
Peace.